Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Frozen Frontier, which today is more of the hot, humid, well-known area than an actual Frozen Frontier.
Yeah. Compared to Frozen Frontier, this is a vacation.
So, how are you going to do this?
Let's see. So this being, I don't even know what this is. So apparently there's some mountain climbing guide named Janet that the family needs to just inexplicably disappear.
Yes.
Accidentally fall off a mountainside or something along those lines.
Or this could be the first time Grimes gets to use his assassinate ability. I don't know. We'll find out.
I do have an awfully sweet dagger, but
or you can shove her off a mountain or choke her.
I don't even know
whatever you want to do, man.
I don't even know who this poor Janet is. I guess we'll find out. So I think right now, Papa Ditchard and I just left Wickthrone Renta after a hard day's work or something like that. And are headed west. Is Landslide on the west or the east side of the river?
It is on the east side.
Okay, so we don't have to cross the Lamb Dune to...
No.
Okay.
And in fact, you wouldn't want to, because on the east side of the river is a tribe of orcs.
Okay.
Yeah. So, when would you like to come back? The next day? A week later?
I think, are there days of the week like in the real world?
Yeah, definitely.
Sunday through whatever.
Yeah, Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday.
Sunday through Saturday, actually. Sunday's the first day of the week, Saturday's the last day of the week.
Okay. I think 6 days of the week, the routine is probably the same. Right?
Yeah. You guys probably take the Sabbath off.
Yeah, I don't know when Martha's Sabbath is, or...
Yeah, whatever. Let's just call it Sunday for ease of understanding. The first day of the week, everyone gets to rest.
I think what I need to figure out is what these climbing expeditions are, and I've probably seen them, but I don't know if I've ever been. They've probably got some camp off to the south, would be my guess. Or you tell me where they launch, and there's probably another camp halfway up the mountain. That's probably not even the peak. It's probably only the badass climbers that go that summit Wicklam, because this is the tallest
mountain in the kingdom.
In the kingdom, yeah.
So where this
and
road
Grimes maybe don't
curves,
think much of it, but.
Right by the H is where the access point is for the general populace to climb the mountain.
Yeah,
and from your experience, most of these tours are hiking tours. They're not mountain climbing tours. They're let's go for a hike, everybody. Hi, I'm Janet, your friendly guide. Let's walk up the mountain and back down today. Don't worry, we've there's a path. It's not quite national park level trails, but it is something a shitty national park that's got a shitty trail.
It's a holy site kind of though, right? So it's a pilgrimage thing.
Yeah.
And there's probably a bunch of hucksters down at that turn of the road that are taking the tourists' gold and leading them up the mountain.
Or getting them partway up. And
I said, probably there's probably a base camp halfway up, right? That if I would ever, I would take anyways.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think actually let's just pick up that evening.
Sure.
So it's probably getting on towards dusk, and I walk home with
Dad.
Pa,
he immediately puts some tea on the boil and goes to rest and falls asleep with the tea still. And
I've set
fire.
I set our chimney sweep stuff out in the shed or wherever we leave it. And peace out. It's probably not uncommon for me to go do my own teenager thing in the evenings, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even need to explain what I'm up to.
He's
I
asleep.
slip on out of the house.
You
right
put
around
out the fire so it doesn't burn the house down while Dad's asleep, and make your way out. All right.
And I'm gonna head south.
Sure.
Probably with almost no gear, I would guess, other than this semi-concealed blade.
Okay.
Right, and jog on south. I think I take a shortcut through the foothills, sort of like southwest. So let me add my own little road, sort of from like the west of town, shortcutting the roads. Do we leave out through that weird river gate when we head home, or do we take the main? I think we take the main road out south, right? When we leave town.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would not. So I wouldn't. I'm not usually seen around that river gate, except that was today or whatever.
Right.
But anyways, we've left from the south. So maybe it's more like through the forest like that. But anyway, I don't know where landslide is in there. Maybe even
landslide's like the southwest corner of the castle icon. So you probably like come out and then to the side, and then
but this is like a couple of miles. I mean, it's hilly terrain through the woods, so it's slow going.
Yeah, but, it'll take about an hour to get there, and you'll get there after the sun has set. But there sure enough is a little camp here. You see a couple of permanent buildings, all made out of wood, and they're more like shacks. There's one mud brick building that is like only half-sized. It looks like it's maybe a cellar or something, where that just comes up like 3 feet out of the ground and probably has a dugout area underneath it. And then a couple of tents set up here and there. One large pavilion tent with a flag that's hanging loosely in the lack of wind, and a couple of other what looks to be just regular camp tents. There are fires going, and small groups of people, maybe 6 groups total that you can see. 6 fires.
Okay. I would also like to, before I get like light blinded, have looked up the side of the mountain as I'm sort of coming around that bend or whatever. Like to see if I can see. Do I see any torch lights from the camp? I can't even see them from here.
No,
they're probably like up the other side of this peak or something. Because there is a camp.
Right. If there are any parties on the mountain, they do not have any light, or they are on the other side where you can't see them.
Okay. Well, I enter this this hill camp and see what's going on. Is it like a public fire going on? Or is it like a gathering of peoples?
Single public fire. There's a bunch of different small fires and different gatherings around. It looks like this is sort of public area, like anyone could come and set up a tent, but there are distinct separate groups. And
probably flags. I don't like have any sort of heraldry skill, but I can see a picture.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Each tent has its own flag flying on it. The mud brick tent doesn't, and the wooden buildings don't either. Those look more like support structures rather than like campsites.
Cool. Then I think I'm gonna pause outside the firelight and see what my hiding skill looks like. Or maybe move silently. Stealth is weird in the Nealiverse. So that is based Dex and Perception, which are going to be the same, divided by 3. Dex is 16, Perception is 14, 30, so that's a 10 is my base. I don't think I increased that initially. Dang. But current Grimes' hide is 15. I think I'll just roll it at my base 10 as if I didn't add any points into it at level 1.
Okay.
I'm getting a ton of camera lag, aren't I?
Nope, no lag right now.
I feel like I just was, but anyways. All right, I'm rolling a hide in shadows at plus 10.
Go for it.
You should probably have rolled that, but I think I failed to hide. But I don't think anyone's looking my direction anyways. Right. I don't know that I'm supposed to know that I failed, but and then I'd like to skirt around the outskirt of these tents of this camp and like listen in to see if I can catch conversation with paying specific attention for obviously Janet named, but I don't know if that's. And
So-
then I've got an eavesdrop will be 7. Should I make that? Is that
I will make your eavesdrop check in secret for you.
Cool.
Wonderful. All right, so you're moving around in the shadows, and considering the light blinding that goes on here, and you're on the outsides, I think you probably have bonuses to the hide check anyway. But you make your way kind of all along one side of the camp, looking around, listening. The other side of the camp is going to be a little bit inaccessible because the camp like abuts the trail, and then you'd have to like walk around the other side through the road, which might break your vision, but it doesn't matter because as you're coming kind of close to the mountain side, you overhear a group of would-be hikers. They all look like they are on the lower end of the noble spectrum or the upper end of the merchant spectrum. You can't.
They've got like gaudy brand name coats.
Yeah. Yes. And you're overhearing 2 kids speaking, and you can hear them trying to use their Cockney accents, like, "Oh yeah, we're over by Wicklamdo. We're such like rugged kids." So they're like clearly joking around and having a good time. It's a little bit offensive. And they're talking, and you overhear them say, "Oh yeah, but Janet was super nice. Oh, she's so much fun. Why don't we have her?" I can't do a Cockney accent. "Why don't we have her come and like be our maid?" Oh, but you catch the name for a moment.
Okay, I think I'm going to pause there and like listen to this conversation, try and get the gist of it. So it sounds like Janet is these chaps' guide or something, right? And she's like off to her tent or something for the night, and they're making crude jokes about her. Was that the gist of it?
Yeah.
Okay. How large is their party?
The 2 kids are together by themselves, but you notice that there are 2 adults nearby. So it's probably just one family?
Mm-hmm. All right, I am going to make specific note of any... Like, so does like Janet's company have like was there any sigil on this tent? Or is it
There is. It is, what do you call it? It's a goat against a field of blue. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I will. I don't know what this goat symbol means. I am not educated in such fashions. I would, if only I had a geometer or something who could decipher these arcane symbols for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I will at least follow it up the mountainside.
Okay.
And see what happens. So I think I'm gonna hide out in the woods a little ways away from this camp. I don't have my own tent. Maybe I even just... Do I go home? Like, how far am I from my house? Like, can I go home, sleep there, or come back early the next morning?
Totally. Your house would be like an hour away.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm gonna head home and rest up for probably a short night. Probably like I go to sleep late and I'm super anxious for obvious reasons. Grimes is super anxious for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I go to sleep and wake up before good old Ditchard is even awake.
Sure.
Right. And I will hide my chimney sweep stuff, I probably have the hidey spot where I can like make it look like I went off to work early and go fuck off. So there's probably somewhere I like bury them in the woods and mark the tree clearly, or it's like in a very obvious little box that I've stashed out there that who else would,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe occasionally kobolds would get into it, or I don't know what the local wildlife is like, but a little hidey hole for my stuff.
All right.
Pa will just assume that I went on in to get the day started early. I think I probably set out his that potion or whatever, the medicine for him to take and tidy up. It's probably suspiciously looks like I got up and went to work early. I was like,
is this a work day that you're headed out on?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's probably a day.
Cool.
And I'll sleep 6 hours, hide my chimney sweep stuff in the woods so it looks like I went to work, and jog on west, hopefully early enough that like the the climbers are like just getting camp broken or whatever. I would like to take climbing gear if it's a thing. Like, would we have living here? Would we have like crampons in the shed, or is that?
No, definitely not.
Nope. So I just got my boots, and I probably got gloves or something, right? Heavy leather gloves.
Definitely.
It
gets cold sometimes, so you'll have some like good winter wear.
As is Grimes's habit, I think he tends to wear heavy leather gloves most of the time. Of one form or he's probably got several. Maybe that's the one thing he's got two of, right? 2 pairs of gloves or whatever. Chimneys, you don't want to be like working with that shit with your bare hands.
Stuff is gross.
Yeah. So, I guess that's my climbing gear, and I would like to like track these camps as they ascend and pursue in secret, or maybe climb. Maybe if I think I've got a better chance staying hidden, climb up before them. And I don't know, but I would like to sort of watch as they get a vantage point on them as they disassemble their camp and head up the mountain.
So you want to be above them on the mountain when they are disassembling? I
think that's probably what it is. Maybe I get out a little later than I meant to, and like the sun's rising, and I'm like, crap, they've probably broken their tents down. So I'm going to go to head them off up the mountain.
All right. You get up the mountain a little ways ahead of them, and we'll wait for someone to start climbing?
Yeah, I think my general idea is I want to secretly follow them up the mountain. If I think that's probably better done by me getting a start on them. Like I can probably gauge the route they're going to take and get halfway up and like spot a peak that I can look down on them or whatever as they. Yeah. So I don't know if there's any check to identify a good location to observe, but.
No, it's a pretty busy mountainside. You'll notice that as you scramble up a little bit, and then you see all these different camps starting to break down, starting to head up, and you also notice that there are individuals arriving on foot from probably Wicthron Renta itself that are just like starting to hike up on their own. So there are tour guides, and there are also solo hikers or like groups that aren't with these tour guides. So the mountainside is going to be a mess with all sorts of people. You can hide in plain sight if you want, or you can like hide in a bush or off the road or whatever. Do you have a preference for like being unseen or hiding in plain sight?
I think I'm off on my I think I probably head up a peak that would not be. I mean, like maybe there's the well-worn path, right? That like pilgrims coming to Wicklamdo take. And I will probably take a slightly more treacherous one. So I will try. So I think I'll need to hide. Otherwise, they'd look up and be like, "There's only one guy up on the side of that mountain."
All right. You have a 10 on your hide check?
Looks like it. Yep.
Perfect.
I should have +1 to like 6 of my skills, which I don't exactly know yet. But so for now, I'm just rolling base. I'll try to remember to give myself those appropriate level 1 bonuses. And then climb, I dumped a maximum of 6 into.
Perfect.
So when we get to climb, it'll be appropriately imbalanced even at level 1.
That's the idea. Good. Perfect. So the people begin to climb up, and sure enough, after maybe half an hour of sitting off on the side of the road on this other trail that is not well maintained at all, you see those same little kids from the night before walking up ahead of a group of 2 parents and this other woman who has got to be Janet if they're still the same group. She's definitely like a little bit overdressed for such a hot day and hiking up a mountain. She's got like a purple dress on with like a white like a thin white shirt underneath that's got like blue splotches on it. It's not like a full dress, but like shoulder straps comes down to about here and then all the way down, and like a big puffy, what's that thing called? Cravat sort of looking thing, but not like a sticky cravat, but like a loose cravat.
Yeah, I think cravat's the tie thing.
Right.
But I know it's, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a light floofy...
A bodice or something? Is that... No,
No.
that's enough.
It's like a fluffy neckerchief sort of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's a thin, light material. It's white with like blue splotches all over it, and then like a dark purple dress on.
What is this lady doing climbing in a dress?
I don't know.
Does she have real shoes on?
Yes, yes, she definitely has real shoes on.
Like climbing, hiking boots and a dress.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, all right. You do,
definitely
you lady.
Is looking a little bit weird to you. That should be your interpretation.
Yeah, because I am burning up. Like I'm probably sleeves rolled up, button down if that's possible.
Yeah. You see like large pit stains underneath her.
Yeah,
and,
I probably even like taken off my my gloves and stuffed them in a pocket because that's probably too hot, and maybe unlaced my boots a couple notches. And I don't know how to keep cool in this heat.
Yeah. Anyway, they're going up on this other path, and you can hear on the wind whenever there's a little bit of it. Janet is talking to the parents about the sights of Wicklamdo, and they pause for a moment and look at the small little shrine, and you just catch a few words here and there about something about this being like the first shrine, but it's unclear if it's like the first shrine ever, the first shrine of a series, or the first shrine to this particular god, or whatever, and then they move on and begin to hike a little bit higher. And...
Go ahead. Yeah. So I think more than listening, I'm probably... like I was imagining setting up at the top of a gully and being able to observe for like 15, 20 minutes, get their trajectory, see where they're headed next, and continue tracking them up the mountain. So maybe I accidentally get too close, or that's as they're walking by, that's what they're talking about.
Right.
And then I watch as they probably can climb up the
Yeah, they continue climbing, and you can switch from your path, your pilgrim path, to the more touristy path. And follow up behind them, and it seems to be kind of slow going.
Actually, I think
them.
that's
She's got like a very meandering. They'll like climb. They'll hike 100, 200 feet, and then stop and talk about something, and then they'll like go again for another 400 feet and stop and talk about something. And they're not really like going on a big hike. This is like the easiest tour guide possible. It's frustratingly slow for you who are trying to like follow along behind them, and you keep having to wait and let people pass you who then pass them.
Yeah. Okay. I do my best. I think at this point I go low-key and try not to look suspicious, which I don't know if that's possible. I wish I had like I don't even know. Axe to go pretend I'm chopping. I don't even know what a normal activity to do on this. I guess it's climb the mountain, right? Pretend I'm a pilgrim. I think I feigned that I'm like hot and like that's a realistic thing, and I'm like panting and struggling to catch my breath as I I'll like pause when I let the group pass and like wait. Hot day we're having it, eh, mate?
People nod and kind of groan at your accent. Oh, God, peasants.
I find some like wheatgrass or something to chew on the side.
There's a patch of sour grass growing on the side.
Oh,
delicious.
perfect.
Sure. And so a few hours pass, and this group is like the slow, pleasant group. You know, these are clearly wealthy people who don't enjoy physical exercise, don't want to go hiking, but like they want to say they climbed the mountain.
Can I get a feel for the parents? I mean, it's not, what made me assume that it's probably an older man and an older woman. Is that what made me assume they're the parents of one or more of these?
Right,
these,
and they're
charming young
more
men.
Similarly than Janet. Janet's like in this purple dress, while these two people are in slightly like more appropriate gear. They're like the tourists showing up in lederhosen to go climb the mountain.
Yeah.
You know?
Does Janet have a big old backpack or something?
She has a satchel that goes over one shoulder and like hangs at her back, and she's got two water skins, one on either side of her.
Yeah, but they don't have like rope and.
Definitely not.
And ice. So they're going to take a stroll up to like base camp or whatever.
Something like that. Right.
Yeah.
And that stroll takes all frickin' day. Eventually they get to the next camp, but it literally takes them all day to get there, to a camp that you could probably have hiked to in like 2 hours or 3 hours. I
think I planned on being back
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I could even. I can guess where they're going to camp that night. Right? They're clearly not making it back down the mountain today.
They're not making it back down the mountain today. No way.
So I think what I'm going to try to do once I like realize where they're going. I don't know how long it takes. I think Grimes is not super bright. It probably takes him following them for all freaking day before he figures out where they're headed. And I'm probably gonna have to run down the mountainside.
Oh, you're going
and
home
move
tonight?
my gear. No, not really. Maybe I think I'm gonna sneak my gear back. Can I even do that? Do I even care? All right. I'm close enough that I could like head home and back and.
I mean, it would take you like an hour or so to get down the mountain, and then like an hour or so to get back home. So it'd be a couple hours to get there, and then if you wanted to come back to base camp the next day, it'd be like 4 or 5 hours.
Do they not have? Do they not
camp.
have gear, or do they have like a stash up at base camp? Is that what I think?
Yeah, that's what. Well, yeah.
I mean,
if you stick around enough to see them get to base camp, you will see that there is a more formal setup.
That's going to be my plan. I think is to. I think I'll wait it out until the sun sets and then sneak into their camp and probably eat their food. It's warm enough, I think, that I don't even have like a cloak, and I'm probably will be fine. On I don't know, waiting through the night without one, but we'll see.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
so I will wait until evening time.
Here at base camp, there is a communal fire, and there are many tents around and smaller fires, but there is like one large fire that's going on here, and a lot of people gathering around it. You notice that once the parents and the kids get here, they go off one way, and Janet goes off another way, and goes and like hangs out with a bunch of other what looks to be like climbers. Some of them are dressed in actual climbing gear. Some of them are dressed in casual walking gear, and they all kind of go off to their staff side and hang out for a little while.
So if there's a public fire, I may join it. When you say a lot of people, what are you talking, like dozens?
Yeah, maybe like 24 people total.
Okay, enough that not everyone probably knows each other, and there's probably
definitely
like
not. It's probably like 5 or 6 different groups that have all shown up in the same place, and they might know the people in their group, but they definitely don't know any of these other hikers.
All right, then I think Grimes will probably just join this public fire and kind of try to act casual and just let everyone assume that I'm with some other group. I think with my accent and casual demeanor, the hope is that they will assume that I am some other climbing guide for one of the other groups, and I've got them to camp for the day, and now I'm carousing.
Maybe, yeah, or maybe you're like a worker here, because it's not just hiking staff and climbers. There's got to be people to bring up firewood and like bring up supplies. There are probably people of your
for sure.
socioeconomic
I walk
class
in
that work here.
Yeah. I'm gonna walk in and like find some boxes that have like been set and not dealt with entirely. Like someone probably set them down and they went and grabbed dinner, and like I'll deal with that later. And I'll like pick them up and move them and make it look like I'm part of the staff somewhere. And maybe then grab some of the rations that are in said box, and after I like move it off, into the shadows behind some other tent.
Right.
So I don't know what probability check I need to roll to make sure that it's not these guys' stuff, but I'll do my best to read the situation well.
You're fine. It's kind of a chaotic situation, and no one comes up here to steal food. It's way out of the way. Like you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So I snack on a baguette or something, and
make your way to the communal fire at some point.
Make my way to the fire.
Yeah. So here you are at the big public fire where all of the climbers and hikers are. They're all hanging out and chatting. You can overhear bits of conversation from the people who are like, man, I really can't wait to get going. To other people who are like, oh man, the rest of this climb looks pretty treacherous. Have you ever done it before? Yeah, I've done it before. What's it like? Oh, well, you got to keep going up, and you got to make sure that you get your climbing picks. Are you going all the way to the top? I don't know. How far is the top? That sort of general banter of inexperienced people mixed with experienced people hanging out. What are you looking to do particularly or specifically?
I think I would probably be making small talk in these. I don't know that we need to role play it out. Basically, what you just described, banter, and I think without explicitly saying so, I will imply that I'm a climbing guide or whatever, or like I don't know the one of I would say that, and they would assume that I'm probably the hired help or whatever that lugs their tents and stuff up here beforehand and gets the fire going. Maybe I like put some logs on the fire to make it look like I'm I know what's up, and just to shoot the shit, you know. Oh yeah, you going all the way to the peak? Right on, right on. And,
that's way more Australian.
Oh no, basically you can still get
Great.
Yeah. It's Victor on the Renton. Anyways, so I'll hang out by the fire and try and get it, as if it were a tavern maybe. And I bet there's probably even people pulling out flasks.
Oh, absolutely. And as the night presses on and the casual climbers start to peel off to go to bed one by one, you begin to recognize that the staff fire is a little bit more lively towards the evening. I think more like drunkenly lively that you can hear coming from over the staff fire on the other side of the camp.
Oh, okay. I think that's certainly where I want. I mean, maybe now is when I wind myself up there, but that's definitely where I. And this is probably a bunch of guides with their own groups, right, hanging out, right. These guys probably run this route daily, weekly, whatever, and so they bump into So but then there's also hired-ons and whatever. So I think I will mingle my way on over there.
Yeah, you get a couple of odd looks as you come over to the staff side, but no one stops you or thinks twice about it. But you definitely get like I haven't seen this guy. Wow, a tourist is coming over here? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and they probably all make their own assumptions. And I think in this circle, I'll sort of just quietly listen in on conversation for gossip and let the night wind on down.
As you're sitting, hours. A flask is just making its way in circles around the fire. And every time it gets empty, someone fills it, and then it keeps getting passed around. Over here, you'll recognize that there are 6 primary guides. And then it looks like 5 or 6 secondary guides. Janet seems to be one of the primary ones.
Oh, Janet's in this. So that's what I'm doing. Janet's in this. So there's probably, you said 6 guides and then 6, a couple of helpers
6
or whatever.
6 main ones and then a couple of other helpers.
The better ones the richer ones or whatever can probably hire some lackey to, like I said, like pre-climb their stuff. And Janet's probably got one, right? She's probably got a. Some guy that like climbed up their stuff early because she didn't have a backpack, right?
No, she didn't have a backpack, but everything that she needs is here. And you actually see her. She's like changed out of her dress and foofy neckerchief, and is into like slightly more regular hiking and climbing gear right now. But it's like getting on towards nighttime, so she like half changed. Like she took the dress off and like put on leather pants, or not leather pants, but like a canvas pants and a light shirt. And is shooting the shit with the other people.
Yeah. So I think I will, sort of, rest in the shadows of this circle and listen in as the night progresses. Not providing much input myself, just trying to like blend in as when I pretend like I'm tired and hunch over, and just look like one of the laborers or whatever hanging out. I give curt one word but pleasant responses. Did you have something you wanted to?
No. It sounds like the night just kind of sort of passes.
Yeah, but I would like to get a feel for who this Janet woman is. Was that a correct assumption that she has some she appears to have some?
You're getting
hireling
the impression,
or whatever that had climbed.
Getting the impression she's part of a greater organization that supplies this base camp.
Or is everyone here from the same organization, or are there a couple of others?
No, you're definitely So, from what you've gathered, there's like a main organization that runs tours up and down, and then there are like freelancers who are
free climbers
onto this sort of thing, right? So like maybe I live near Wickthorn Rent and I want to take tours up here.
Indie rock climbers.
Right. And give me actually an eavesdrop check. I want to
see if I can give you a few
Let me
more bits
see
what the base eavesdrop is. Perception divided by 2, so 7 with a no. I wouldn't have put any points into that at level 1. So, do you want me to roll that, or do you roll that in private? All right. D20 plus 7.
Ooh, all right. So
24.
you actually overhear a couple of snippets between Janet and this other guy that she's talking to, whose name you don't quite catch, and it appears that the official organization that runs the tours up here is supposed to be the only organization, and that all of these like freelancers are technically like illegal freelancers, but these hikers don't give a shit about the rules, and so like, yeah, whatever, you can go ahead and hike it. But like, yeah, there's no one from the administration here. You're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. But if someone shows up, get ready to run, sort of thing.
I think Grimes like bites his tongue. The success of that eavesdrop check rides on Grimes not butting in and derailing the conversation. So I think he bites his tongue and doesn't go off on a spiel. But it's free climbers, not freelancers, man. This is our mountain.
Yeah. And
so I hold
that
back my true opinions and continue listening.
You get the impression that Janet is a government employee running these tours. And we'll just leave it at that for now.
Yeah, and I think even Grimes can kind of put 2 and 2 together and try and guess maybe why the family wants this Janet gone. Are they trying to set up like a monopoly on this mountain?
It's unknown.
Or undercut the government monopoly.
Maybe it has something to do with the climbing. Maybe it has something to do with Janet personally. Maybe it has something to do with the people Janet is connected to, and this is a message to them. There could be any number of motivations for this, and it's probably something that you're never going to truly understand. You're the what was his name that we figured out? You're not quite the Tom of the Tom Hardley. What was his name?
Oh, you're making Godfather references.
Yeah, Godfather references. You're not the Tom Hagen yet. You're like the pre-Tom Hagen. You're low down on this chain. You're doing work, and you might not know what the true purpose of your work is, but it's important to someone somewhere.
Yeah. You're making references to a conversation we had off stream, or like in the break.
We had that.
The whole Godfather references were not broadcast.
Right. Tom Hagen from The Godfather being the outsider who's trusted, but like still kind of an outsider.
I think Ditchard was the Tom Hagen of Godfather, and then this is like the Next Generation or something. I don't know if they have. I hope they never made Godfather the Next Generation. They kind of did, but.
I never saw 3 or 4. Is that like the Next Generation?
I don't know. I don't think I did either. But anyways.
All right.
Mafia references. Spoilers. I don't know if it's spoilers.
It better not be. Godfather's an old film. Anyway, so you guys all go to bed. At some point, you find some spot of dirt to sleep on, but it's warm out. So no concerns of freezing to death. My question for you right now, Grimes, is what's your plan here? Are you going to try and is this a scouting mission up the mountain to figure out how this organization works, or is this
I think my plan now is how am I going to shove this? I think the ramifications of his actions have not been fully thought through. I don't think Grimes has ever killed anyone before. He has not come to terms with what that means. So he assumes he's just going to find some way to shove this poor Janet off a mountainside without anyone else knowing it was him. And is just looking for the best opportunity to present itself. Do I think they're going to climb? Sorry. Do I think they're going to climb back down tomorrow?
No, it looks like Janet is going to be taking some group, maybe not the same group, but some group further up the mountain tomorrow. Are they
planning to? Did I get the impression that Janet is planning on summiting Wick Lamdo?
Whether she's going all the way to the top, you're not clear on, but she's definitely
I'm guessing
going
that's
up and up and up.
Yeah, but there's glaciers and shit up there, right? You don't go up there in your fucking. I mean,
I want to say Wick Lamdo is probably 7,000 feet, so I don't know if that's not quite glacier level, but it's a big ass hill.
Depends, but okay. So yeah, okay. Okay.
Maybe 8,000 feet.
So you can go up there and if you're... So I've probably been up to the top before.
Maybe.
Just have... Is that a...
I mean, you're 15. I don't know if you would have climbed it by now.
Okay.
You're a working class stiff. You know, there's not a lot of opportunities for recreation.
Okay.
You could have climbed it if you had wanted to. Anywho.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna find. Then I guess I'll find somewhere to bed down for the night. So I guess I'm gonna just climb this. God, Pa's gonna be so pissed. Mostly about the being gone for 3 days, right?
Right.
Or however long this thing is gonna take. Not even a message. What's it been? So this is night 2 away from. Where did I sleep last night? This is the first night.
This is the first
night. Okay, that's fine. I can do one night. I hope I can get. Oh God. Hope I can get this done tomorrow or tomorrow evening. But I think it's all sleep. I'll probably wake up early and continue to try to blend in. So I may even like load up a few boxes and then like slink off into up the trail or something.
Mm-hmm.
And just try to blend in with these, or maybe I disappear before. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll wake up early and then I'll just disappear and climb on ahead.
All right.
And yeah,
you have a short night's sleep because you go to bed late and you wake up early.
Yep, and I think I'm gonna snatch some rations as I ditch out of camp, like just as the fires are getting lit or whatever, or I don't know.
You manage to snag some food and head up the mountain ahead of everyone else. Let's cut our music over to... You know what? Why don't we take our break, and when we come back from break, we will see Grimes attempt his first murder.
Oh.
See you on the other side.